Press live.
Good morning, everybody. And a very, very warm being the voice of reason at this point in time, because it is very warm out there, isn't it? Very warm welcome to Ask the Accountant, episode number 186. The date's 25th of May, 2026. And I'm one of your hosts, Aaron Patrick. With me, as always, is Johann Goree. But before we go into that, we need to welcome and say thank you to our wonderful Ask the Accountant Patreon community. So hello and welcome to Ask the Accountant, part of the Ask the Accountant Network, a podcast network for accountants and bookkeepers supported by our Patreon community. Speaking of which, we start each and every show with a shout out to our coolest of cool listeners, who are Paul Whitehouse, Kirsty St. John, Mahul, and Peter Richardson. Thank you so much for your continued support. To show your support for our channel and content, while also getting some bonus content opportunities to be on our coveted list, then please do join our Patreon page via the links below. Johann Goree, how was your week? How's your week looking? And how was the weekend? Did you enjoy the sunshine?
Yeah, well, I'll be honest, this is the closest we're getting to work today. Once this podcast is done, I'm popping back out to the garage to continue the unrelenting DIY job that is re-glossing all of the doors in the house.
Wow.
Yeah. We changed door handles last year from brass to chrome, and they weren't the same size, so it's been irritating me for ages now that we've got like screw holes in doors. So I'm having to take each door down, sand it down, fill the holes, sand that down, and gloss the door and put the door handles and stuff back on. So a couple of doors at a time, we're getting there. So yeah, that's my plan.
I'll stick to my accounting reviews that I've got to do.
So yeah, that was my plan for today. No, I had a good week last week. I was in Wokefield in Reading, doing my usual speaking slots with people that are looking at doing buying and businesses. So that's always a good little lead generator for me. So I enjoyed that. And this week I'm at home all week.
Nice.
It's weird. Like really weird. I don't like it. But I've got a few podcasts and webinars and stuff on this week, so that'd be good to get it done from home. Yeah. What about yourself? How was your weekend?
Yeah, warm, very warm. I'm not going to moan about it being warm because it's lovely, but when you're just working and watching everyone else enjoying the sunshine, it's like, oh, wouldn't that have been nice to have gone out there and enjoyed it? But then again, the puppy's not allowed outside, is she? So no. You just you have to sit here and kind of watch everyone else enjoy the sunshine. But yeah, no,
23 degrees here in Edinburgh yesterday, so God knows what you lot are going through.
Yeah, it was warm. But it's fine. It is what it is. I mean, there's so much going on, so many moving plates at the moment that we just need to get on with work. Done that, but we got to watch Formula 1 though, so Formula 1 was good. Canada always delivers, in my opinion, and it delivered again. So we got to have a very exciting race. Races.
6 people out in the Grand Prix. I mean, Jesus, it was an interesting race.
Yeah. No, it was an interesting race, wasn't it? And I am gutted for Mr. Georgie Russell, but wasn't Lando further back this time?
Yeah.
Stand that year?
Yeah. I think I don't know what McLaren were playing at, getting intermediate tyres on at the start. That cost them dramatically. We've then got Mercedes, who gave us some of the best battling of drivers I've seen in a very long time.
100%, yeah.
So yeah, it was a good race, and that poor groundhog.
I know. Well, many. There was one that free.
The 3 strikes in the end.
Free in the over the weekend. There was free claimed, unfortunately. So, yeah. But it was a good race, and I was a bit gutted the rain didn't actually come, but hey ho.
Yeah, that was disappointing, but hey ho. It was a good enough race without the rain. It caused enough uncertainty at the start for them for it to not to worry about raining throughout the rest of the day, really. So yeah,
certainly. We wouldn't be anywhere without our amazing community. We have, even on a bank holiday Monday, we got people turning up. We've got Kirsty St. John says, "Good morning, everyone. Sunny here in March. Must remember to water all the new plants I put in." So it looks like Kirsty's had a busy weekend of gardening. So yeah, but don't forget to water accordingly. And Juliet McKenna says, "Morning all." So good morning to you. And then Abdullah says hello. So good morning to you too, sir. And then Julia says you. So, yeah, you too. All right, everyone. So we're going to be completely honest. There's not much to talk about. It's a bank holiday weekend. There's less and less coming through. So if you do have any topics, please put them on the in the chat so we can we can.
I think we've got some juicy topics.
We've got some juicy topics, but I don't think they're going to take all of the hour. So it might be a shorter one, which is absolutely fine, being a bank holiday weekend. And you know, some of us got work to do.
Some of us got doors to gloss.
Doors to gloss. Amy Hancock's there as well. Good morning to you too, Amy. Hashtag audit Amy. Right then, people. So let's make the first start, which is, unfortunately, there has been some very sad news in the accounting industry space. We've had redundancies galore in the Intuit place. So there's been 3,000 redundancies over the globe, which is a 17% cut in the workforce. So that got announced on, what was it, Wednesday, I want to say, something like that. Yeah, I mean, it's been a bad time for redundancies anyway. I don't know if you saw the Meta news. So Meta being who owns Facebook, Instagram, all that lot. They got told, I think it was the day of, or the same day, or the day, like day just before, day just after, they got told, don't come into your office. You've got to jump on a call at X, whatever time it was.
Is this QuickBooks or Meta?
This is Meta, sorry.
Okay.
Meta were told, just to show how brutal the industry is at the moment in tech. They were told to get on a call. So there's the whole workforce across the whole of the global Meta workforce, and they got told, stay on the call, and if no one comes along in 15 minutes, then your job's safe. But if someone turns up during that call from HR, then your job has been suspended or made redundant, whatever the phrase would be. So that must have been a very, very awkward and horrible situation to be in, right? And with Intuit, it's not nowhere near as severe as that, but it was very much a case of, at least the US, they just got told there and then that, you know, X amount of you won't be coming back. Go for that. We have to be a little bit careful about what we can and can't talk about on this one, because US versus UK versus the rest of the world laws. I know from a UK point of view, the people affected are in like some sort of consultation. So, you know, they don't know, you know, they may or may not lose their jobs. The writing's kind of on the wall, unfortunately, but it, you know, it is a bit more sensitive for them. But the decision's been made. I mean, more important than anything is just, how sad for the people affected, right? Like there is a lot, and there's, you know, we don't know who is affected, who isn't, but there's kind of rumblings of certain groups and certain people, and if that is the case, then they're people that we know. So very, very sad times for them. Best, as Kirsty says here, best wishes for those at Intuit. Wonder how many in the UK. So very, very, very tricky times. Go on, Jan, what do you want to say about it?
I think there's a few points to discuss on this, apart from the sadness, and you know, we hope everyone in that Intuit's dismissing across the world finds alternative solution opportunities within the industry, because we can't keep losing great talent.
Yeah.
My concern here is the culture that seems to be changing at QuickBooks at the moment. Like, this is the third large round of redundancies in 5 years. Which, if you're then trying to recruit at QuickBooks, does that put people off that are in the industry? I don't know, but I was chatting to Ash Hall yesterday about this, just in general, in fact, because QuickBooks have blamed AI, haven't they, for this?
No, not blamed AI. They've
Or
said
cited AI in
there's
their
there's
announcement.
but they've not blamed AI. But yeah, go for it.
But I think what we're seeing is like everyone is concerned about AI taking jobs from accountants and bookkeepers. I don't think that is going to be the case. The only people that will lose work to AI is those that don't use AI in their day-to-day work.
Yeah.
And they refuse to embrace it. And I've said that many a time. We both have. But I think there's at the big corporate levels, at the Intuit levels, I think there's a race to the finish line, which I don't think anyone really knows where that finish line is. And in that race to a finish line that we don't know where it is, ethics and culture are being dismissed to get across that line first. And yeah, it's concerning. Like, thankfully, there's a lot of software vendors out there that are growing rapidly and recruiting. And I know, for example, like TaxCalc, they're constant Engager. We're constantly recruiting at the moment. We can't recruit quick enough, and when it can be extremely competitive to try and attract the right people because there's so many softwares trying to get the same talent pool. So a silver lining is that there is definitely work out there, and so we don't know what departments these people are coming from, but hopefully that makes it a little less competitive for the software vendors that are recruiting to be able to recruit excellent talent, because other software vendors are letting excellent talent go away and let them go. So yeah, it's just, the bit that worries me is this is the third time in 5 years for QuickBooks.
I mean,
Right.
at least I can't believe we have to say this, but the benefit this time around was that they learned from past experiences, and it wasn't, said it was a performance related call, because I know that was something that still to this day is causing problems to the people who were affected last time round. As people were told they hadn't got their job because their performance wasn't there, which is bad enough, because then making that public means that it's a tarnish on their CV going forward, right? Oh, you were part of that call, that it was performance related, blah blah blah. Like, that's always a bad thing. But it was the fact that there was never any mitigating circumstances around it, because I know of a handful of people during that call who had just swapped roles, for example, and there wasn't a positive performance review for them because they hadn't had the opportunity to do a positive performance review, right? But because they were swapping roles, and the computer turned around and said that they don't have a satisfactory performance review, they were ones that were called during that thing. So, at least, the very least, that they've learned from that mistake, and that's not, that wasn't made public, and all that. But I feel so sorry for all involved, because you've got the people who were called last time. Now they're now going pretty much through PTSD of that feeling to come back to them, and they've got all that feeling again, because, like you said, it's happened before and it's now happened again. So even the people who were affected last time are now going to feel like they're going to have those traumas basically come back to them, right? So that's horrible.
Yeah.
You got the people who are obviously affected. Our heart goes out to them. Hopefully they bounce back sometime soon. But then there's the people still left. I mean, even they're going to feel like, are they on a ticking time bomb? Are they, do they now have to do more work because they're having to pick up the slack from the, from the people who've moved on? Like, it's all uncertainty, isn't it? And it's all like at every step, just feel so bad for that thing. And I don't think it helps that because I don't know where that phrase about the AI bit came from or anything, or what article. And I think there was talk about AI, wasn't there? But
Yeah,
I remember
they're
last,
doubling down on AI and their focus
yeah,
on AI and stuff.
and I think from a PR point they keep saying this, don't they? Where they did say at one point, one of the last, I don't know if it was the last one or the one before, there was this thingy down where they gave opportunities for people to embrace the world. This was more, I think it was more when the engineers were affected. And it's like, look, we gave you plenty of opportunities. We tried to reskill you. It didn't quite work out, but we're taking the company in this particular direction. And unfortunately, you don't have the skill set. Like when they make those sort of business decisions, it's not nice, not good, but you can understand that there's
Yeah,
there's a reason for it, right? I- and I just feel like, this one, this time, or this approach, they didn't say that in the official one. They're talking about this whole, they want to flatten the management structure and trying to reduce the need for different managers at different
yeah.
levels and trying to bring this over and everything else, which yeah, again, from a business point of view, as an accountants, bookkeepers, we've probably had those conversations with our clients in the past, and we've probably had asked them to make these, these tough decisions, obviously at a much lower level and much smaller level. But it is kind of delivered from that. It just, I think what puts a bit, and the bit that I keep seeing is the CEO was on one of these Mad Money, they call it. So in the US, they have these like talk shows, don't they, and stuff like that. And he was saying how, they've had the best quarter they've ever had, and they've got growth of this and growth of that, and they're going into, you know what I mean? Like sometimes you've got to be
Doesn't
really tasteful when you say stuff
yeah,
like that. You know what I mean? You can't say, oh, we're buoyant, everything's great, because obviously the share price has been hit drastically because of this, right? And for other stuff as well. But it just puts a bad taste in your mouth when clearly the CEO's got to like try and rally the share price and got to say positive things, but at the same time, you've got to just think that you've just taken away 17% of your workforce. So
yeah.
it's a tough one, isn't it?
It is, and as we say, hopefully those that are affected will stay within the industry and find other opportunities. Because the worst part is for the industry is the losing of the talent. Because once someone leaves the industry, are they likely to return? Probably not.
Yeah.
So hopefully it's not too damaging to the industry as a whole. I think people forget that when like accountants and bookkeepers look at these big announcements from QuickBooks and the likes, they forget about actually it's not just a loss of 3,000 jobs there. It's potentially the loss of 3,000 very skilled and talented people going, well, I'm fed up with the accounting software industry. I'll go elsewhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
100%.
yeah.
And well, there's obviously there's some bits I can't talk about because of the whole UK law and everything else and all that sort of stuff, and it'll come out of the wash at some point. But on a personal / ask the accountant level on this, it has made an effect for us. So we did a podcast at Accountex for QuickBooks Labs, and QuickBooks Labs members are our flagship show. So that's the one that started this whole Ask the Accountant network up. I'll always remember you coming on for the first time. What was it, like 4 or 5 years ago or whatever it was? Maybe
5 or
longer.
6, I think.
Yeah, mad, isn't it? And he came on, and that show's been going and going and going and going. But the last show we did was we went to Ask the Accountex, we went on stand, and we tried to make it a bit different, right? Like we tried to do it directly from the show floor, show off the bits that are there, talk about the new and things and all that. But in my normal, or hopefully normal kind of approach, it was a very buoyant episode, right? Because you want energy at something like that. Same when we do the grid walk, right? If we walked around, it wouldn't catch on, would it?
Which
But
often day 2 does feel like to us at times.
day 2
It comes across better than we feel it does, but
we're grateful we have a day 1 and day 2, aren't we? For that approach. But we in our normal self, and you've been there yourself, right? Like you've got to be buoyant in these sort of circumstances, and you've got to try and like, even though it felt a full transparency and full, cards on the table and let you guys know, it felt off. It didn't feel right. Like there was trouble behind the scenes to get it going in the first place, where we were asking and asking and asking for like assistance and help, and we didn't even need anything from a technical point of view. We just wanted permission, really, to rock up and do a podcast in the middle of a floor, right? Like it, in my mind, it shouldn't be that much of a tricky one, but there was like things behind the scenes that was making it difficult, right? But anyway, we overcome that, and we did this episode. Hashtag Audit Amy was in the chat. She was there. Sai and Charlie, and we made the most of it, and we figured, but we couldn't in good. We were talking about it over WhatsApp. We couldn't then just release that episode based on the news that's just happened, right? Like that wouldn't have been right. Like we can't have this point episode. So me and Amy recorded like a episode that we're going to put before it, and we'll slice it together. And the idea that we tackle the news that's just happened, and then we push forward, what we'd already recorded, but with basically a disclaimer that, we didn't know. And unfortunately, that's the second time we've had to do that, because back in the QuickBooks Connect podcast episode from this year, 2026 Connect one, at the very beginning of that, I had to do the same almost apology, like beforehand, of saying, look, we didn't know, because it was all about, the fact that they'd taken away QuickBooks Sole Trader and all that sort of stuff. And I think, and I don't know about you, Jan, but QuickBooks Labs was always one of those where I've got my QuickBooks chat channel, and that will continue going, and that's all about tips and tricks and all that sort of stuff. But QuickBooks Labs is always about celebrating, or at least having opinions on what's going on in the world of.
It was about bringing the insights to the new releases that often went under the radar because people missed the emails, or the releases didn't even hit the emails and the social media and stuff. It was about having a place where, in the same, there's YouTube channels I watch where they go every Friday there's an episode about what's the latest news in the world of AI, and Gemini's done this and Claude's done that, and it's all stuff that actually, yes, we see all the big stuff get announced, but we don't see the little bits. And the amount of work that goes into capturing all that information, demonstrating all that information, etc., is significant amount of work there. And that's what QuickBooks Labs was always about, was talking through what has just quietly appeared in product to make sure people were getting the best value out of it.
Yeah, exactly. And I think we've been trying, because we created this network, right? And we're trying to figure out, well, if we've got QuickBooks Labs, then we've got Sage Savvy now, which is doing well. Like we got the opportunities. It will never, I don't think Sage Savvy will ever be a regular thing. It's just something we bring out every now and again, and we can, when there's something about Sage to talk about, we'll talk about it. We've been talking about a free agent one, and then we've talked about a zero one. But it was always that QuickBooks Labs was going to be, well, let's try and like replicate that formula, right? And the formula is go each month, we talk about the new stuff, and everything else comes from there. I think what's happened and become very, very apparent to me is there isn't really a space for QuickBooks Labs anymore, because I don't really want to do that whole trying to talk about, the product and everything else, that because the QuickBooks chat channel will talk about the tips and tricks, and we'll go into helping and training and all that sort of stuff. In QuickBooks Labs, it's been nothing but quite negative, comment topics that we've had to cover, and everything else. And yeah, there's been some nice wins here and there, but it's been tricky. I mean, there was an episode like 2 months ago where I literally was not allowed to say what I wanted to say, because we didn't want to cause any controversy or issues or any problems, right? So I was literally sat there almost tongue-tied the whole episode. I just don't feel like QuickBooks Labs and especially on this news that's happened, I just don't feel like it's the right place anymore. I feel like that celebration of
And that's
of
after I stepped away 2 or 3 years ago because I was being too negative
yeah,
about stuff and being too direct about, actually, is what they've just released good enough, or is it barely
yeah,
a viable product that we ought to look at telling them off for?
yeah.
Um,
It just doesn't feel like there's a place for it now, and that's mad, right? Like, I keep saying that one of the benefits that Intuit have is that they've got a product where we could make that work. Like, on a monthly basis, we could put a podcast out there, and there is enough content, enough stuff, and everything else. But I just feel like it's run its course, and having to do the second apology video, like pre-video, just kind of sums up that
and
it's not in a good place.
you've got like, I stepped away from QuickBooks. I stepped away from promoting QuickBooks. Yes, to a certain degree, I was actually pushed by QuickBooks to step away, but I did it because I was starting to question the leadership and the culture and the product direction, and it wasn't going in the direction that was right for me, my clients, etc.
Mm.
And for that reason, then it was agreed that I should step away from QuickBooks Labs to make life less challenging for those on QuickBooks Labs. And I don't take any joy or out of saying, turns out I was right. It was going in the wrong direction. Like, I was really hoping they were going to turn it around, and I was going to sit there and go, "Oh, I need to sit and eat some humble pie," and look back at it as a mistake that I stepped away from it, and I should have had more confidence and faith. But kind of, it's been going this way for 3 years. So, yeah. But for someone like yourself, whose your whole brand is QuickBooks chap, it's so unfair because
Yeah, but
you
yeah,
put
but
blood and sweat into that, and
yeah,
you're now sat there with a brand where it's actually the bit I'm talking about is not something that aligns ethically with what I do and how I would run a business.
yeah. But I mean, do I? I've never been that fussed about that side of things, right? So I don't, in the nice possible way, I don't mind my personal brand. It's more to me. It's like asking Amy and Cy and Charlie and you know them to come on and do something that just doesn't feel right. It just feels off, right? And I
Yeah.
can't explain why. I can't explain what the thing is, but from a from the OG podcast that we put together, like the born, that started the whole Ask the Accountant thing, and everything we've done from there on in is because we had that kind of grounding, didn't we? Of well, we've started this. You were involved in this podcast as well. Like we were starting this podcast, and yeah, it was kooky. It was a little bit thing, but it grounded us into all right. This is what it means to get this show up and running. This is what we need to like. It just gave us some experience on like putting show notes together, all that sort of rubbish,
Yeah.
right? Like that's what it was there for.
We've learned so much from a presentation, confidence just to stand up and talk randomly about anything.
Yeah.
Production, like it's taught you and me. Like, someone actually said to me last week, like, so the organizer of the speaking event that I was at turned around and said, actually, can you go and do 30 minutes on this topic? Like, with like 15 minutes notice?
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, no problems at all. And someone overheard that conversation, just said, how can you go and do that with no PowerPoint and everything? It's like years of practice. Like, the skill set that doing these podcasts has given us every Monday live and just rambling, like, and then doing all the QuickBooks Labs and all the other podcasts and stuff we do. It's very, very unscripted. Even Cool Friends is unscripted.
Yeah.
Like,
and that's our most produced content.
Yeah. But yeah, like it's taught us huge skills as individuals.
Yeah.
So yeah. So is that it then for QuickBooks Labs?
QuickBooks Labs, I feel like doesn't warrant a place in the lineup anymore in terms of the amount of effort, the amount of time, the amount of thing, and because
so we're getting rid of the monthly part.
Yeah.
ad hoc shows, like at
No,
events
no,
and
no,
stuff?
no. I'll so comes on to the announcement. First time you've heard this, and you're co-owner of Ask the Accountant, so you've got to tell us.
I think
You like
you
this a lot.
can all see the involvement of the co-owners here.
Or so we should put the board meeting as now. Everyone can be a part of the board meeting for this one. So we're gonna pivot Ask the Accountant to be more of an agnostic show. We got some in fact, hashtag Audit Amy come up with some cool names. We've got Ask the Accountant Tech and Tools, Ask the Accountant Tech Talks, Beyond QuickBooks Labs, or Ask the Accountant Tech Labs. And then side comes up with, which I really like, Control Alt Reconcile. So yeah, we're thinking of pivoting QuickBooks Labs to a more agnostic once a
Means
month.
I can be involved again.
Exactly, everyone can be involved, right? And those brands like Sage Savvy and Just Ask Zero and QuickBooks Labs, they'll just be a part of that show from time to time. Like we'll just use those brands so we're not wasting that branding, right? Finally, we can talk about Free Agent. We can have that one without, So I feel like it's a positive move.
I think it's really positive because it brings the ability to talk about a wider range of tools outside of, yes, we can talk about Sage and Free Agent and Zero and QuickBooks like we always have in the Monday lives, but we can do something a bit deeper and purposefully on the normal ones. But we can also bring in things like Claude and ChatGPT and reporting tools, and it can be a much wider conversation.
Yeah, and that one's supposed to be, the idea of QuickBooks Labs was we went deeper into it, right? Like we're already talking about this topic here, but also we talked about it on there. I mean, ironically, we went even more deeper in it on this one, but normally it's the way around, right? Like normally it's, we'll talk about, they've released a new SKU or whatever it's going to be, right? But in QuickBooks Labs, we could talk about, and that's the point of that podcast, right? We can go deep, go geeky, go like as into the weed as we need to, and bring in experts from those individual ones to come and talk about it and everything else. And bring on some, I'm sure if we asked nicely, Stu would come along from Free Agent, right? Like, and it gives us that functionality to go there. So TBC on the name. Let us know what people think. If you've got name ideas, reach out to us. Let us know. But I
like the tech ones. I like the tech ones where it's more encompassing.
Yeah, exactly, right. And I just feel like QuickBooks Labs as a entity, as its own standalone, doesn't cut it anymore, right? Like if I'm struggling to find a reason for it, then
I'd like to think someone from QuickBooks is listening to this, and it makes them seriously think through what they have and haven't done, how they have and haven't supported, etc. The only QuickBooks podcast available in the UK for a number of years. I don't think it will, unfortunately. I don't think this will even register on the seismic monitor of theirs.
I mean, in fairness, they've got a lot more going on at this point in time, right? So is whoever would normally make those decisions even there? We don't know at this point, right? Like that's the severity of what's going on, isn't it? Right?
Yeah.
So they've got much bigger fish to worry about, much bigger problems. But and it is a this decision has happened because of the decisions that have been made over the last 3-4 months now, where big decisions have been made. And
I think it's been getting harder and harder for you to be honest and frank about your thoughts on things. Since the start of the year and into last year, with the direction it's been going in, that hasn't been in line with what you would have felt was best in place for the market.
And QuickBooks Labs is fine because QuickBooks Labs is still tips and tricks and trying to do work. And if anything, like the more they keep messing up certain releases and stuff, the more opportunity for that channel, right? Because the whole point of that channel is to go, you might be frustrated with this, but here's a workaround for it. Right? And I don't know if you saw, but there was a Go Cardless really dropped the ball, and we don't know if it's Go Cardless or Intuit at this point. But
just use admin.
But Go Cardless and Intuit had a failing, a broken down, and Intuit sent out this email to here's a fix for it, blah blah blah. And I'm not disputing the fix. Fix was fine because they were doing what they had to do, right? It was very factual. It's do this, do this, do this. But it would have taken forever to do that one because it was literally manually going through line by line by line by line. And we looked like there was over like 2,000 transactions, maybe more by the time we looked at over our client base and even our accounting firms. It's like 2,000, maybe 3,000 transactions affected. So if we had to manually go through and fix each one, because what had happened is the money was collected, but the money was never, the update was never pushed to QuickBooks, so that those bills were still shown as outstanding. So you were almost like at risk of going back to that client and saying, "Oi, pay me," and they're like, "Well, I've paid you." Do you know what I mean? Like it was that sort of thing. So. And I quickly got a fix out there, got that on the QuickBooks chat channel, and that's what that channel is always going to be about, right? It's those fixes and those things and everything else. And I'm still going to be looking for ways to train and support that because I've got so many clients on there. So it makes sense for me to do that. But having a discussion, being frank and open, being everything else, that's where I'm struggling to find it. Let's quickly go into the chat because I've noticed I've completely missed out in it. Is there a bank holiday echo set of tumbleweed today? Tim, that came at the wrong time. We have just gone into a nice juicy conversation topic for you. So hopefully it justifies the no need for a tumbleweed. Wow, shocker. Oh, and Tim, don't worry. Sage Savvy is safe. It's just going to be part of this new one. Don't worry. Kirsty St. John says, "Wow, shocker, but yes, you don't want it to be feel forced." Exactly. Thanks for giving us your opinion there, Kirsty, because it's a tough pill to swallow because that is our OG podcast, but I think the time's come. Kirsty says there is still a massive difference doing it in front of people or on a webinar. MTD marathon was fun. Good topic. We'll come back to that in a moment, Kirsty. But that's hats off to you, isn't it? For just going up on stage and talking. Well, whatever the topic was. Can you remember what the topic was?
No.
There we are. John says Tech Talk. Hashtag Tech Talks is good. Hashtag monthly update. Yeah, like that. Still missing hashtag Nick. Yeah. Still missing hashtag Nick. Is Emma okay? I think best thing to do is reach out to Emma on that one. I held the tumbleweed back for it. Well, glad we did get something right. And then hashtag Amy says excited for the future. Yeah. So Amy, Sai, Charlie, they're all still there. They're all still going to be coming along. But then we can add Tim into the mix. We can add you into the mix. We can add whoever we need to have like what's it called? A subject matter expert into the mix. We can bring them in.
Yeah.
Go through from there. So exciting times ahead. Next topic. That definitely went on longer than I thought it was going to do. Come on then. Government announces without HMRC guidance. You've got a rant to make. Go make that rant.
I mean, yeah. So as I was just saying, so Thursday I ended up speaking on stage. Wasn't planning on it. And I got onto the train about 6:00 Thursday night. First time I managed to open my emails, and I had a bombardment of emails. So what the hell is all this? And it was all about kids VAT on kids meals and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is this? Then there was an email about mileage changing and like, do we need to update records? So, what? Anyway, went on to BBC News to find that the government have made an announcement about mileage changes and support for attractions and kids costs, etc. Coming into effect next month. And I just like, okay, fine. Went to HMRC's website to try and get the guidance on it. Nothing appeared on the HMRC guide website until Friday. And I just sat there on the train going home, like, all right, tired, but I'm just sat there going, I'm having flashbacks to COVID.
Yeah.
Where every Friday night, Sunak and Boris would walk out and announce something new with no guidance or support behind it. And then we get the bombardment of emails and phone calls and messages from clients saying, what does this mean for me? And we're like, we don't know, because we don't know any more than you do. We found out at the same time as you. I just thought, during COVID, I get it. Everyone was scrambling. Everyone was trying to just shore things up. Last week's announcement, there was absolutely no justification for it to be announced without HMRC guidance being ready, available to go live at the time of announcement. It was purely for media hype and to save their whole backside with all the negative press they're getting at the moment.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's just like, I said this on my vlog, actually, on the Friday episode last week. We were making progress. We've been making progress on our onboarding systems, on our sales processes in my firm. And all of a sudden that's got to be paused, put on a shelf while we deal with this announcement. And we can't even deal with it for the first 24 hours when clients are on our backs trying to understand it for them, because we've got no guidance from HMRC. What is a kid's meal? Does it have to come off a kid's menu? Or is it just any food served to a child? And at what point are they no longer a child? Like, we had none of these answers. I'm just like, nothing about that announcement was time sensitive. It was pure media hype. And it just pissed me off because it made us look uninformed and it made our service response times look awful. And I was saying to clients, I was on calls to clients until 10 o'clock that night and responding to messages saying, we don't know. Now, there's certain parts that we got on with really quickly, and, like Engager makes life easier. If you've got a good practice management tool, it makes life easier because you can go, right. So I literally went, right, here's the article from BBC News, stick that into Claude, come up with an email. And so I said, Claude, come up with an email from this article explaining what we do know and saying that we are waiting HMRC guidance on the rest. So that went out to all of our clients really quickly and easily. But we shouldn't be firefighting. We shouldn't be having to respond to this stuff in an uninformed way just because they wanted a bit of positive media.
Yeah.
So yeah, it ruined my week, basically, that did. I was having such a good week, and just them doing their little PR stunt without any guidance and stuff ready to release just ruined it for me. Like, I don't see any reason why they couldn't hold off that announcement until the guidance was ready to go live from HMRC.
100%. And the worst thing is, it's positive news mostly, but it's soured, right? Like,
Yep.
the mileage finally going up. I mean, was it going up enough? Blah blah blah. We can debate that till
and only for the first 10,000 miles.
Yeah, but that's what the case, right? Like, yeah.
Like, but if they were increasing the first 10,000 miles by 10p a mile, surely the rest of the mileage should go up by 5 or 10p. Like, it doesn't get cheaper to run my car after the first 10,000 miles. It's all right. It's now, I've done the first 10,000 for the year. Everything's going to be a lot cheaper now. The fuel just gets slashed because I can prove to them I've done 10,000 miles, and they go, you've done 10,000. We'll drop the mileage. We'll drop the fuel rate for you. Like, that's not how it works.
I can't wait for the payroll to be run next month when we've got to backdate it as well. Like, you know what I mean? So yeah, but look, overall positive that finally something like that happened, and finally we got some some increase in that after lobbying for it for such a long time. So at least we got that. But like you said, it's soured by just uncertainty behind it and unknown, and how are we supposed to really like support our clients when we're learning at the same time and we're trying to figure it out?
Then you've got the software vendors who are equally caught out by this, like Free Agent and Dext. I've seen them both on social media saying, we've upped the limits, we've changed it in the software for you now, so you've not got any, you don't need to do this manually. It's like, great. Unfortunately, most softwares don't have this kind of stuff built into the background. It's a manual journal.
Yeah.
But they suddenly had to pause everything and go in. All right, I'm sure it's a relatively easy change, but it's still let's stop all productivity, guys. Let's go and deal with this problem instead.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, it's great that, damn it. I got 1 sec, 2 secs, 3 secs, 4 secs. It's great that Free Agent and can, get that update out nice and quickly, right? I'm really happy for them, but they've had to rush that approach, where realistically, if they were given the time, I'm pretty confident that they would have been able to gone, right, okay, because we're backdating it, we're going to have this feature here that will, do that backdate for
Yeah.
you or whatever. Right, like they would definitely have got. They've got, they're the sort of ones who would come out with positive like updates for it, not just update the thing. Like,
Yeah.
they would actually come and save a pain point for us, right, and actually sort it. But they don't even have time to do that because all they're having to do is firefight and get at least going forward. It's going to be right and pushing it from there. So even though they're able to come out and do the bare minimum for us, they would want to do more. And if they had the time and everything else, they would have been able to do that, right? And at every step, it just feels bad. And then you've got, I don't know if you see the reform, their post, their re thing to this was like, oh, don't worry, we've got some quirky changes coming as well. Their thing was, if they get into power, then all overtime will be tax exempt.
But what's interesting there is, like, that's been in place in the US for the last couple of years. Donald Trump brought that in, where it was overtime. For those that want to work overtime, we will not tax your overtime income, and it's actually increased productivity.
It probably has. It may be, but
it's good for the economy. People are willing to go above and beyond because they aren't going to suffer more tax.
But it just feels like silly season now, right? Let's which quirky tax regime can we bring into play now? Like, come on, like, if maybe it does increase productivity, but how many people are going to be on national minimum wage going forward if that does come into play?
Yeah,
every CEO in the world's on national minimum wage, but it's all right because they get £1 million worth of bonuses just as overtime. Sorry,
my overtime is going to be phenomenal next.
Yeah, exactly. Do you know what I mean? Like, it just becomes just madness. Command opt and reconcile for Mac users because we don't get the alt. VAT change mid-month. Hospitality, good luck at Tim. So Kirsty's showing, and that's it, right? All of us now have got to fight. We're all going to be affected, every single one of us.
And this is at a time when we're already tackling the first MTD quarter.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Like, because we're not already busy in July and stuff dealing with that. We've got to now make sure everyone's up to speed in June.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone looking forward to their children's fillet steak with a bottle of Kids Merlot. Yeah. Is it Happy Meal, isn't it? That's what you get in Macca's. That'll be everyone's favorite. Mileage change impacts a lot of my clients. I still have questions over the EV rate for sole traders. Yeah, I mean, come on, for someone like Paul, who's just got those taxi drivers. Yeah, exactly. Completely agree. Feel like PR to try and win back the public. Yeah, it's a PR stunt that's maybe will have a positive impact on their points and everything else. But for us, more anguish for us.
Speaking of a PR disaster, and they're backpedaling hard at the moment on this. Did you see the email from Starling Bank?
Go on.
So Starling released an email last week to all their small business owners. Basically, anyone that's got a business account with them got this email. Basically saying all their tools and softwares now mean you don't need an accountant or bookkeeper.
I did, yeah. And it's not even an email. It was
phenomenal.
It's in the app as well. I took a screenshot of it. Yeah, because I got it sent on my Starling account. I was like, well, I don't need myself anymore.
The backlash they had on LinkedIn and stuff from big names as well, like Lucy Cohen and people like that, turning around saying, "Excuse me," and then an email came out end of last week from someone in Starling organization structure who was a former accountant bookkeeper turned to start to work with Starling, saying, "I've been in your shoes. I know how you feel. I am so sorry." Like, that poor sod. Having dealt with some backlash PR exercises myself, I don't envy him having to write that email and send it and go through. I dread to go through his inbox and the replies he got. But yeah, I just, if you want to know how not to do an announcement, then that is it.
I mean, they're not wrong though, are they, in terms of using this software will be anti-accountant, because their software still doesn't have the ability for the accountant to have access anyway, right? At least last time I checked it was still client only, right?
Yep.
So it is wording wise, but they are right. Like, what they need to be saying is, do not use this software if you have an accountant, because this software, like, you can put as much information as you want in there. You can file as many VAT returns. You can
You
put,
can't see anything.
but your accountant won't be able to see any of it, right? Like, that's ludicrous that that's still the case with it. And maybe it's got slightly better. Maybe there's like workarounds and everything else. But last time we checked it, last time we looked at it, thinking that's where, I mean, Sage must be looking at that, rubbing with glee, because they're like, oh, well, but they've also got to probably look at that and go, this is where that embedded technology can turn that you got a thin line, haven't you? You've got to walk that tightrope, and you just got to be absolutely nailing that communication.
And
in Sage's defense, that
like,
embedded services the client, the accountant gets access at least, right?
Like, from Sage's point of view, I suppose this was a bit of a blessing. Like, they went, oh, okay, that's how not to do it.
Yeah.
Like, any announcements we've got planned, guys? Can we just check it's not like this, please?
Do they copy and paste it in Sage Copilot and go, right, make sure we take note of this, and this will never come out of your mouth going forward. Update your skill to make sure that it goes through from there. But yeah, look, what an own goal. What an own goal. And I think the thing that gets me the most about this is just their arrogance when they were bringing it out. Like because also they've still not told us about Ember, have they? Like, that Ember bit's still, it's still not been like.
Well, I think that's what is powering all of this.
It is, but is it Ember just the software? Is it Ember with the Ember accounting arm there as well?
Who knows?
No one tells us. Like they obviously want to control that message. They want to control that, their clients and everything else. But yeah, it just doesn't make sense. Just Tim says, if you have a decent EPOS system, it's literally a 2-minute job, honestly, to fix the VAT issues. Yeah.
But it's not as much the fixing of the EPOS system, it's the
communication back and forth.
All the emails to the clients telling them what, like, which meals will and won't be applicable, etc. And have they trained all their tax investigators at HMRC on this matter? So when they start flagging VAT returns for inspection, they know what's going on.
Yeah.
Or we're gonna have to do that as part of the inspection now.
And great point here. Lucy Cohen's article was great. She's such a good writer. Fiona Brownlee wrote to the CEO, I think. Yeah. But though that Lucy Cohen thing, and she's got kind of almost skin in the game as well, hasn't she? With her practice and everything else, because it is, it's not embedded services, but it's kind of very similar, isn't it? That she's trying to build that. So yeah, no, it's good to see. Good to see. Right. Shall we do the fact that you're going to Xerocon next?
I'm going to Xerocon. There we go.
No, what? Because obviously you're going for the party, right? Like, you've got yourself your glow sticks.
I'm going both days. I've got tickets for both days and the party. So the bit, again, I think I said this on the vlog last week, the bit I'm really looking forward to is going as a normal person, as an attendee. I was thinking back, I don't think I've been to a accounting event like this as an attendee for 6 years. It was pre-COVID when I last went to an event as a normal attendee, where I wasn't doing press and podcasting, I wasn't doing speaking, I wasn't doing anything. I was purely there as an attendee, and I'm actually really looking forward to that. I think that's going to make a real nice change. So yeah, really looking forward to that. So yeah, and then we'll see what Xero have got to announce at Xerocon in a few weeks' time.
Yeah, be good. Can't wait for you. I mean, we were going to go as QuickBooks Labs, but that's not going to happen now. So moving on swiftly from that. Second best beer. Yes.
Now, speaking of PR,
yeah,
it's been a week of PR, hasn't it?
It has, hasn't it? It has. I mean, I can't believe how much negativity this guy. I thought this was all positive news, but do you want to explain what's happened?
Yeah. So, what's his surname? James
White.
James, is it James White? Basically, one of the co-founders of Brewdog, who sold up his shares and then got upset when it all went terribly wrong, and also had all the PR issues regarding conduct with female staff members, etc.
WATT, but carry on.
James Watt, that's right, yeah. He has announced like Thursday last week that he's starting a company called Second Best Beer, and anyone that invested into Brewdog will get the equivalent shareholding in Second Best Beer. Good news, Aaron. You can now adapt your tax return because that capital loss that you were just about to declare is now back to normal. So, but yeah, it's so he's
My pension is safe, is what you're telling me.
Yeah. So that he's going to start this new beer company to rival Brewdog, etc. He reckons he's going to learn from all the things that did work and all the things that didn't work. You know, like conduct in an office to female employees, stuff like that. You know, the good stuff. So yeah, and he's put 19.3% of the shareholding to one side for all of these former Brewdog investors.
Yeah, Match has bought the equity was in
the equity punks.
Yeah.
And he's also confirmed that this equity is going to be on the same level as his equity. So if there is an acquisition, then Brewdog punks or Second Best Beer and people will now get the same benefits as he would have done. So yeah, it's interesting, but there's a trust issue there, right?
Yeah, but he didn't have to do this. I don't know. I'm kind of like at this point, like we all knew what we signed up for with the equity punk. I don't understand how this has become such a big deal. Like we all knew when we were buying the shares, this was never going. We weren't shareholders as such. We were just.
Well, you are now.
Well, we are. I know, right? Yeah. I mean, 19.3% of nothing sounds great to me, but but you know, at least it's got potential to have value later than that, right?
Yeah. Which currently your punk equity has no value and will never have value again.
Doesn't exist anymore, does it? I think that's what annoyed people, wasn't it? We're kind of written off. But you know, look, there's I don't know. I just feel like this is something where there's an opportunity. And he didn't have to do this. He's obviously trying to do it for a PR stunt more than anything else. He's certainly not doing it to line his pockets, is he? Because I think he's got more than enough money at this point in time. So I think he's absolutely fine. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what it's like. We'll see if it goes anywhere. I quite like the name though. Was it Second Best? Was it called Second Best Beer?
Second Best Beer, yeah.
Yeah.
And he had some different plays on that and what it all meant and stuff. So,
I mean, if he really wants to like win us over, he needs to buy the Manchester Brewdog hotel.
Yes,
and have that as his base of operations, and kind of go from there. So
that would be very good. That would be very good.
Right, let's quickly finish off with what we're doing this week, and what we did last week. You're on a podcast or webinar. Talk about
it. Yeah, so this week I'm at home all week. I'm very excited. But I've got two things in the diary of significance. So on Wednesday, I'm filming Confessions of Accountant, and I'm going to be confessing all of my sins with my terrible sales process in OnPoint and Route to Growth over the years. Well, mainly at OnPoint, if I'm honest, and what we're doing to rectify that. So hopefully that's of value and insight. Learn from my mistakes, people. And then on Thursday, Tax Calc Power Hour is back, and we are talking about, I think there's 16 different topics that people can vote on. So we're going to be very democratic about this. We've got 16 different topics. The attendees can vote which ones we talk about, and we'll talk about them in order and get through as many as we can. So yeah, that two webinar type things this week, which will be fantastic. How about yourself? You've got anything on this week?
Just on that, the Confessions of Accountant. What a cool little concept that is, and a cool little group there is with that one. Yeah, you'll enjoy that a lot. That's a really nice like approach to it. Like I think they're onto something quite nice there. I don't think there is anything this week, but I do need to shout out what happened last week on Friday, the MTD marathon. I don't know if you've been able to see anything that happened.
I've not watched it yet, but I heard very good. I saw Stu from Free Agent in a full kilt suit.
Yeah.
I saw Nick Moss in a tuxedo. Leading the way, people.
Absolutely. I mean, it was a joy to watch that they took it so seriously. There was Rebecca Benningworth there. We had Grace Hardy. We had Kirsty there. We had Natasha there. Amy was there. There was all sorts of things. It was just, I think. Oh, and HMRC themselves were there with Craig and them lot. So yeah, it was just it was one of those things where a marathon stream like is something that when do you think that would have ever been able to be achieved? And if you spoke about this 2 years ago, 3 years ago, you've been laughed out of the thing, right?
Yeah.
What, you want a whole day of one stream that everyone's going to jump in and out of? Not a chance. But no, they absolutely smashed it, and with very little kind of like preparation or anything. It was a real turnkey event that they put together. But you wouldn't have known. Like, it was such high quality and everything else that came with it and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, good topics, good conversations. Got a bit controversial in places, which we like. So yeah, no, hats off to them. I think that was it's one of those things that as an industry we should really celebrate, like that we were able to just put that together and have those people involved and everything else. So yeah, very, 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 very good. And that's it. That's another episode of Ask the Accountant. We're back same time, same place next week. Hopefully we've got some topics to talk about next week, because I'm a little bit worried it's getting a little bit quiet at this point in time. Maybe ZeroCon's going to come at the right time. That's like give us something to talk about. Maybe.
I'm sure there'll be topics out there to talk about. Like the government will announce something, HMRC will do something, a bank will annoy us. Like, there's plenty of opportunities out there for us to talk about something, and something will rile us up at some point.
But if you have topics, let us know.
Yeah,
because we might be having to go into listener questions, etc., etc. Children lost lobster under 5 caviar and baby prosecco. That's how you set your VAT schemes up going forward, and no one's going to know any different. Did you see the Hawkston Choir on BGT? So that's talking about the Hawkston Choir there. I didn't actually get to see, I've not seen any of BGT this time, so hopefully it was good. But yeah, hopefully that was good to see as well. And that's it. That's been our episode of Ask the Accountant. See you next time. As Amy says, enjoy your bank holiday, everyone. Enjoy it.
You're right.
So it's a bye from me.
And a goodbye from me.
Bye.